Hi guys, before we get into this video, I just need to make a big apology. The mic I used for the video is actually the laptop mic. It didn't connect properly, so it wasn't using my nice new mic. So I do apologise by that. But yeah, please enjoy me going through the Masters setup and how I think it will go. So cheers guys, catch you soon.
Hello and welcome. I am the Imperishable. And on today's episode, I'm going to talk about the Masters. Just talk about how I did this year, where I finished, what events I went to, and what events I've won. Kind of my year from there. I'm going to talk about the pack, talk about what list I would take, because I will start off straight away. It may sound a bit of nagging or a bit of a sad thing. I am not going to the Masters this year. I came 20th, and I will show that off where I ended up in a moment. So I did get into Masters. I didn't actually play a major event since probably June time, because I was in that point looking at Team Wales. I did some one days, work started up, it was all a bit hectic, so I couldn't go to any big events. I went to the Welsh Open, but a lot of us in Team Wales agreed to go more relaxed events, so not to go like proper sweat. So I brought Cetra, so I knew I was never going to come top 5, top 10. I did alright with Cetra, and I'm going to try and push them forward again forward, see if I can maybe win a one day with Cetra. So I'm not going. A big thing for me is probably the location. It's up in Newcastle, which I know I've heard it's been a really good event, but I personally cannot get there due to money, time, because of my job. I can't take a Monday off and come back on the Monday. Um, it's just not plausible, and the amount of time I have to get up there. My one nag about the whole Masters setup is how it was ran with the votes personally. So it was done as a bit of like a round robin, loser gets knocked out, and it got down to the Borden Brum and Newcastle with the Forgotten North up there. And it was really tight. It got to a draw. They invited the top 50 at the current time to make a vote. And they did one thing I wasn't very happy about. They increased it to then the next 60. So they topped the next 10, and that won the Newcastle vote. Personally, the only thing I would like to see them differently is actually you take off the next bottom 10, and then it'd be like, okay, look, this is now the top 40, this is where they want to play, this is where it should be. And if at that point we still lost, the Borden Brum said we lost, Borden Brum lost, I would have been fine. That was my only big gripe. It was an open vote, you could see who voted, I heard there was lobbying, there's just a bit like, it was all very done fast paced, this is what's happening, and I just didn't really enjoy that. They lost by a vote, it's just, that's how it is, but unfortunately I cannot get to Newcastle and do it. So that's my only nagging. I know it's going to be a really good event. It's going to be ran really well. Scott's got a great setup in the sense of they're going to have the Masters, and then next to it they're going to have the Open. So there's going to be loads of people there talking about loads of things. It'll be a massive event. As I said, I'm pretty sure Richie and Brewis are looking to stream it. So it'll be very open. Hopefully they'll get a nice room to do it in compared to last time, because I know there was issues with recording it, Wi-Fi, etc. It'd be nice to be in there, and it'd be really good to see loads of shorts. So I'm gonna hopefully, I'll speak to Pash because I know it would be great to see some YouTube shorts, just quick updates, talk about how the tournament's going, interview a load of players, get as much publicity out there as possible. I will obviously be doing a list review, talking about who I think will win the Masters, potential matchups, and then go through there. So I'm looking forward to it. There's going to be a lot of content, and it's going to be a really good drive to the start of this season. Obviously, next year, I am getting married, so I don't know how many events I'll be able to do. So annoyingly, this was my time to be in the Masters, and I would have kept with Tomb Kings pushing through. That's all I've done it with. I don't think I would have won, but we'll look at the list I would have potentially taken. So let's go have a look at the Masters ranking, talk about that, and then we'll talk about the pack, and then we're going to talk about potential who's going to turn up and what they're going to bring, and then what my counter is and why I've chosen it. So let's go see how I've done. So let's say this is World Rankings, a fantastic website. I'm really grateful for it. It's close to that. I've really tried that. So Keith did finish top of the year. Well done, Keith. He came second at the Black Country 3 with Wood Elves. Good man. And Pash, Charlie, Jack, Scott is up there. As I say, I emailed Scott. I really wanted to do well, and I think he's got a list that potentially could do it. Well, I don't know what his list is, but what he's been playing with, I think, could be quite good. Steve, Tom, Jack, Brian, Sam. Nice to see Sam Priso get up there. He was a bit curious, but he did well. Adam Harper snuck in with the latest win with the Black Country. Boring man, he took Cafe, but I wish him the best. I think he's going to keep with Cafe if he's going. I think it'll be quite good. I see Ed up there. Good to see some of the content. Dr. Luke Blackstall. And there I am at 20th. As I say, I've just made the cut off, and I made it by 7 points. But I had a couple of bad scores. As I say, if I was really wanting to push and try to get higher up, because I already knew about the Newcastle thing, I didn't really want to. I didn't have to. So in the Welsh Open, I took a pun list. I didn't take my youth chaplain spam. So that's that. As I say, this year, have a look at how I did. I don't understand this ranking. I have no idea about what that is. So I mainly played with the Colts. I did a couple of tournaments with Royals, and so Christmas Joust, we can all that. The Rice Slovenia, that's where I did with etc. I came in 30th. Clash of Nations, that was really big. We did obviously have the Four Nations. This is Backcountry 2. I won that with just normal Team Games career. I came second with the Mortuary Colt. Played online, played alright. Grand Just 4, I think I won, and that scored me some points. Welsh Open, I came 14th. And then LGT the previous year, which was in there. Obviously, this is the first LGT. I did okay. I got, I say that, I got like 20th or something, but I came in high hopes and I got knocked out of the pedestal. So it's interesting to see. But I've really enjoyed it. I think for me, my playstyle obviously is the boring, you shafty shots. But however, I'm very much enjoying Cetra at the moment, and I will probably going forward what I'm going to play with and talk about, because there are some leaks or rumours about chariots getting cheaper or chariots changing for Tomb Kings, and I'm very excited for that. So let's jump straight to the pack. I've got it up here, and let's just talk about it. What's comps been put in it? There's a few key things which I'm very grateful for. So as I say, it's done by Forgotten North. It's great to see. So I'll see if I can zoom in. So the main comp is the 2,000 points. You know, five game tournaments. So regeneration saves cannot be taken in wounds lost to unstable. It's annoying for Team Kings players, but it's fair. Cannons must have line of sight. This is brilliant. So for me with my casket, I can hide it behind a woods, hide it behind a hill. Brilliant. I love that. Okay, so you cannot be hit if you're behind it. Now into some of the key things. So Vampire counts, Mortis engines, abilities, and busting the scout. I think this, I'm hoping in the FAQ, Flash Rata happens, or it starts getting agreed, that same name abilities cannot stack. So the same with the Tomb King's extra attack cannot stack. These cannot stack. You can't have double something. I don't know what else there could be, but they don't stack. Vampire accounts limited to 3 screams, so you'll most likely see double Banshee and not a Mortis engine. The other vampire accounts, and there's technically 2 extra ones in here that isn't on this edition of the pack that I've got, is you can only have 3 ethereal. So this is maths. Pash was talking about it. So that means they can't have an ethereal general and double Banshee and a Hex Wraith, or double Hex Wraith, so that's 5, can't do that. So you can either have double Banshees and a Hex Wraith, double Banshee and the, the Ethereal General, or you can have Ethereal General, Banshee and Hex Wraith. Okay, so this is quite big, and this has determined what I've finally gone with one of my viral lists, what I'm thinking of, or what I've taken to, because I think what you'll probably see, I don't know actually, I think you'll either see double Banshee, a Hex Wraith, or Banshee, Hex Wraith, and the Ethereal guy. But I think one Banshee isn't scary, it can't hold up, it can't just be chucked away. And then the second one, the next one that's not on here, which also affects Tomb Kings, is the BSB does not allow you to reroll leadership tests anymore. So straight away, this has been taken out of my list. I think it's pointless for me. There's nothing it does, but I increase my command range to 12 for a certain spell. But that is major. A bit annoyed. It's not like I understand right, but it's trying to do that, and you know what? I'll have to just live with it. It meant like resin isn't as reliable. I can't do certain things reliable. Like the scrolls are what's more annoying. You can't reliably get a scroll off anymore, even though probably didn't see it. Cafe's one's here. I think this is the most comp thing. So 1 character balloon or 2 max non-character balloons. I personally think you will see. I think going forward, I think this is how you should see it. You'll see 2 non-character balloons, and you just run them as the 135, 5 Lancer shots, strength 6, AP 2. Like you just sit them in the corner, you shoot miles away. If you get close, you skyland bomb them, kind of thing, or you fly away and they get close. It's 270 points that you can't get, and they will get damaged. And then you play with like Mao Ying, you play triple cannon, you play with fast cab, or you make a brick of that, or you Mao Ying and double Shuriken Lord as well. The negative modifiers from Counter 6, I'd say this is me talking about the whole, I don't think a special ability should stack if it has the same name. Ring of Jet to gets rid of common, correct thing to do. We don't see spam a Ruby Ring, this is just a better Ruby Ring because it's a higher power level. And Overloaders are considered part of the cannon crew and die when if just a one should dies to shooting. In combat, attacks must be allocated, so it's alright. And the big one, a Bretonnian Green Knight cannot charge when Tony appears. I think this is getting more common. Ben, I know. Well, if he watches this, I know he'll be very disappointed. And it's just you've got to play about it. It's a skill thing. Like he's coming. He can only come up in certain places. You can deal with it. So I'm on the camp of yes, it benefits me greatly that I don't have to worry about him charging when the turn comes in. So I've got a turn to shut him down with my Mirage. I've got a turn to just trying to wipe him out before he gets into my lines. But I think it is a skill thing. It makes Bretonnian much better. With all these other stuff, like Cathay being very good, Vampire Counts just being able to insta-kill him with screams, with a double punchy scream. Tomb Kings can just, hold him up, don't really care, kind of thing. I think this is one com I can live without. And that's me being a Tomb Kings player. So on to the missions. As I say, it's fully painted army. I'm going to try and do this as best as I can. Oh, there it is. So mission 1 is upon the field glory and domination. They seem to have done just 1 or 2 missions per thing. And what's quite nice is they do have a nice terrain field. So that's game 1, and then game 2. Oh, we'll try and do this in a professional manner. Oh, I'll do it like this. This is the one deployment I personally hate, because I don't think I'm very good at it. I hate corners in 40k. I hate corners even more now. Because like trying to, at least with 40k you can go whatever direction you want. But here trying to go there. This impassable terrain, have fun mate. But you don't want to be on this side because you are blocking it. Yourself going in one direction. What you want to do is when the roll off, choose this side. There isn't a lot of players. Or actually, you go this side, they're just stuck. And you just go, cool. You can only come in at this little gap, There's not a lot of places where they have to just skim it. It's going to be quite hard, I think. I think if you win the roll off, you're choosing this side or this side, so it's just to force them in. And then we have drawn battle lines for final one. It's quite interesting. Impossible in there. Hill outside, which is quite nice. These, I think, are definitely not where, like, this doesn't show up, because this, I believe, is a lot closer. Like, you could score it in your deployment. Then we have the encirclement, so you lose 12 inches. Both have an impassable. I like this side. I think this is the side. Depending on, if I was a shooting army, I would want this side because there is this massive field of, like, you've got to get shot if you come forward. Impassable, so for them to come past, they can only come down this little bit. Whereas here, it's a bit bigger. Or you can just stack up here. You've got the hill for your little protection. They can try and hide here and come around. I think this is the side I would want. And then you see them come around and then you just shoot into them. Bag of Strange, you just got to go to the corners. Just make sure you can't get them. And then close quarters, it's just kind of normal, 12 inches up. Looking at this, it's kind of symmetrical. Potentially I want this side for shooting to get on that hill to shoot down with an impassable protecting me. But yeah, I think it's going to be a really good tournament. I think the comp is very good and is needed. And I'm big for that. The biggest tournament of the year, of the season, is getting affected by comp. I want to see it more. I want to make it so the best list isn't just Cathay PC. I don't want to just play with your Shabspan because I think that's the best thing I can do with it. I would be interested in seeing it, but I'm a big fan of not changing points, but comping certain things, saying you can't only add more of those restrictions, and that kind of basis that we can understand. It'd be nice to see certain things. I think in time, hopefully with some GW support, but come on, looking at like old sorts of comp, getting that support and it being like, look, I think we should have a plus-minus system. So if I took a unit of Necropolis Knights, I get +1 to my tournament points score. But if I take double Necrosaints, I lose 2 tournament points. So that's kind of what 8 does, and it's quite there. And I could take the most horrendous thing ever and start with a -15. So I've got to 20 everything, and the max I can get is 85. Is interesting, but slow steps. and I'm liking this. I think this is a good start. So well done, Scott. Well done, the UK Masters scene, and on for that. So let's go have a look at what is potentially coming up, and then we'll look at how I think I'm going to beat them. So here is the list of people coming and their ranks. This is just an image that Pash shared into the UK Masters. Just looking at what he thinks the army guest is going to be and kind of the breakdown. So we can see that we've got Ed Forsyth, Tom and Nick looking at Beastmen Grey Herds, most like it's Wild Herds. Kind of that is the strongest way to build. Ed Forsyth basically could do whatever. He plays anything and he's done well with everything. So he is an up there, potentially Exiles, but he's trying to beat the best. Jack Allen on Brett's. Jack Toll on his Breck Exiles. He drew to me with Setcher, just saying, on the first round. We then got potential for Cathay. So Pash, Chris, Adam and Mark. As I said, Pash obviously wants to go to win. He knows that Cathay is good. Chris has been playing with Cathay since he came out. Adam's been playing with them, the Mr. Boring. And Mark, unfortunately, I don't know who Mark is, but he's also playing Cathay. Tom is obviously probably most likely playing his Chaos Dwarves. Owen Davies is on Nuln. I don't know how they've ruled on the comp, actually, for if you can take 4 cannons, or is it max 3? Sam Freestone, potentially, I don't know what he's actually going to play. High Elves is a very good bet because he's played with a lot, but he probably knows it's not going to win the Masters. There's a good chance it might not win the Masters. So you might go with it and probably go like double dragon spam, etc. But I've heard he might jump onto the Cathay train. Peter Gray on High Elves, Trace, so once again probably double dragon there. Then we've got Albert James Barr with Tomb Kings, who will be more of a kind of combined arms that he's been playing with Armor Rage's Dragon, 2 dots of Shabdi. Matt Passfield on Tomb Kings, not sure. Michael Kubrak with Tomb Kings, more Cult. Once again, he's playing kind of the Shabdi spam. I think he plays with Brick of Skeleton Warriors with Poison. Scott Reeves with his, most likely, as I said, the double brick, which is like -2 to hit. Because now you can technically get 2 banners of -1 to hit, and then something else can be another -1 to hit because of the Orbital Trap, so that can be -1 unit can be -2, one would be -1, just basic. Then you get an Illusion Wizard in there, and it's -3 and -2, so like Cathay, just don't touch it. There's not a lot there, they can go into it, but they've got loads of support, lots of combat res. It's a very much, you can't kill me and not get any points. And then we have our VC contingent. So we've got Keith, Charlie, Jack and Toll. Obviously Charlie will be on VC. Sam is very much likely going to be on VC. He's been playing it very lot. Jack Ward's going there to win. I think he's won recently at the Welsh Open with VC. So I think he's going to do that. Keith, I think, will go VCs. However, he did very well second at Woolies. And you never know, he might just say F it and go, I'm going to go with a cool thing. Jack Ward has gone down here for Cathay because he knows they're good. I think he might have them or be able to borrow them. Mark, Passionate Warriors, potentially it could be just VC, but Mark is very much passionate and goes, I'm just going to go with that. I think him 4 for the Black Country with Full Corn, Warriors Chaos with like Chosen and whatnot, so he's actually quite good. Steve Toll, Warriors of Wolves, and Dr. Luke Waxel, Warriors Wolves. He's been playing with them recently. He did that at LGT, it's the last tournament I know he went to. But he's very someone who could do anything. Maybe VC, maybe Brett's, because he's good with them. Steve will most likely playing Triple Dragon or Double Dragon and some stuff. But I think he's been playing that, everything like kind of Amshires. With the new book, his stuff is actually like T4 and T5 in core. So potentially you'll start seeing that. So it's a bit tough. So looking at this, the kind of big threats you've got to deal with is there's going to be some Double Dragons. There's going to be Balloons, Mao Ying, and there's going to be loads, and there's going to be some like kind of those shooting armies. So there's going to be Anon, Beastman Brayherd, they'll have like a big brick, they'll have loads of magic stuff kind of thing. So, and then VC is a tough one because they don't have all their ethereal, so what do they now instead take? What are they going to do instead of that second unit of Hex Raves? Do they take a Terrorgeist? Do they go some Vargeist? Do they go something like that kind of thing? So these are the things I've been cocking up. So I've looked at it, so what list could I make that could beat more than I lose to? and then potentially draw the ones that I don't think. So for VC, I've made a couple lists of trying to how do I break a Graveguard brick and the numbers needed to. So I've realised there's a way in Tomb Kings that if I kill, so numbers I've seen is like 26, 28 kind of a Graveguard. So if I can kill half of them and win by that many, so the idea is if I can kill 14 in a turn and win by 14 because they don't have certain things, I've got close order, whatever, banners, etc., I can crumble them to death because Tomb Kings does have a way of getting rid of regens, and that's the big thing. So I've got a list of that. The idea, but the list I think I would have taken, and it's probably is a Ushabti spam list. I tried a cults list with caskets, double casket, a thing, go triple necromancer. Just didn't work. I played versus like a full pressure list. Caskets just didn't pop off. They're so hard to get off. They're my favourite thing in the entire game to see go off. Just being able to insta kill someone with a casket is so much fun. And if like more chill game, yeah, go for it. But like it's not reliable. So that's what I think you need. Because yeah, in a game you might just insta kill a Chaos Lord Dragon because he's failed his leadership and you've got past all of the MR and he failed his things go off, and then you've rolled a 6 on your d6 plus 3 and you get 9 attacks, and they fail all their 5-up wars by luck, etc. So there's a lot of steps to go through that they're not as reliable. So I'll show you the two lists that I've came up with. One is my Graveguard Breaker, we'll talk about, and then my probably list I will take and the reason for it. So let's have a look at my Graveguard, a brick. I just went through everything and I didn't hit record, so fun there. So the Graveguard Breaker, it goes down to the idea of get rid of their armour, get rid of their regen, get as many attacks in as possible. So that's what the High Priest is there for, Scroll of Withering, etc. Lore Familiar. So the idea is get Plague of Rust, get off their thing. I've got Royal Herald on a Chariot with just a defensiveness to kind of tank the King, because the King's got Crackling Blade and Warding Spin. So he's there to get on average 8 attacks, plus 5 from the dragon. Graveguards now probably are going to have that Monstrous Tapestry, so they're not going to get the stomp, so I've got to ignore those. And then the idea is Skeleton Chariots as well. So the idea is to get to 4d3 potential impact hits and a dragon. So the idea is, so say impacts, you do 4 wounds on average, and if they don't have an arm stain, that should just be 4 deads. The idea is they're coming in about 26 to 28, is to win by how many are left. So they just crumble, because even if they're playing a tournament that allows the crumble, regen on the crumble, they wouldn't have their regen from the Scroll of Withering. And obviously the 5-up regen also really does it. And also on like Masters comp, they don't allow the banner reroll, so they weren't coming back as quickly. So the idea is that's how I'm going to break it. I haven't tried it, I haven't really done the maths, but I feel like it's just the number of weights of attack. And even if I don't kill them to the man, they can't res reliably. They're going to have 3 chances. There's a good chance they fail one of them. And it's D3 plus the wizard level, so 6. So 12 will come back. And then the hope then, in the next turn, my Tomb King with the Crackling Blade and the Dragon attacks does enough damage. I know you think, they'll just champ. I've got Royal Herald, I've got Skeleton Chariot. I'd probably go with the Royal Herald, because he's got more chance of killing the person and get some overkill and getting those. Or actually, maybe in that case I do that and it's actually dead guys. And then it's just some Skeleton Skirmishers, 1 to protect the High Priest, the rest is just shooting. A Skeleton Warrior brick just to sit somewhere. They've got Monsters 100 Tapestries, so they can try and hold up a dragon. Double Ushabti, just to give that little bit of punch. I played with a 5-man the other day and it was great fun. It wasn't oppressive, but it was key. It killed off knights, it did some damage to a Manticore dragon thing. It cleared off some things. And then a 5-man on a charge isn't bad. And then a casket to keep myself alive for the -1 hit. Make sure I get +3 to cast on the what's it called? Word for it, on the Plague of Rust, because I really need that. It's there just to be like, on this go till I'm going to try and break that brick. Because if you break a brick in Graveguard, there's a good chance you go on to win. As the idea is, Ushabti's on my flanks clearing it. I go through the middle, wherever the Graveguard go. Because I've got loads of drops, so I can drop there. I put my casket quite central to take that and get them there. but you've got to get it lined up perfectly, is the idea. I don't think it does very well as much other things, but in a Graveguard or like a Death Star thing, it might be a good thing. So if we're starting into dwarves with big bricks, hitting them with a Plague of Rust, and then hitting them with all of these impacts, and it's just like, cool, you get no save. I know they've got the Master of Grumney, but that's where that Skull of Withering goes, and it's that I'm just going to do so many attacks into you. And I get my stomps as well, and they just try and clear through things. However, that's not what I would take to Masters. What I would take to Masters is my trusty Shabby Spam. So it's a level 4 Elementalism, a level 3 Illusion, which I think is the most important thing in a cult list. Just helps shut down the big threats. Because you can't kill everything in one turn, but you can kill a thing a turn, at least, I would say. So it's the idea to potentially shut down 2 things, you kill the third. You shoot at only the stuff that worries you. And then I've got level 1 in there just for reserve move, spell, or reroll 1s. Obviously, I've got a Ruber in there to help with the ethereal problem. And then it's just a load of chaff shooting, so 3 skeleton skirmishers and 6 skeleton horse archers. 9 you Shabdi, obviously it's core, so I would like to spread those out and have like 3 7s, but points wise you can't do that. Double 2 Scorpion, 10 more bow Shabdi and a Casket. Obviously Casket's there for the -1 hits, just there to be defensively. Potentially though, in a turn 1, if you are versus a Vampire Count and they've got a Master Necromancer on Mortis Engine, just go for that shot. You don't need to reroll the -1 hit and the 6-up wall for a couple of turns. You go for it. Because I played on online WCC, I did it, he failed it. I was like, you're dead, but you got a banner reroll, which they're not doing at Masters. So they're only leadership 8. Roll a 9, 10, 11, 12, like, you've got a chance. That's what, 10 over 36. It's not the worst, it's like 29% or something. Probably a bit less than that, but it's like, could do some damage. And that could insta-kill it. And then it's like, okay, what do I res? And then you hit them with the Ushabti. So it's there to kill, like, the big stuff. But obviously it's only there. Obviously versus, like, dragons and, like, the Chaos Dwarf stuff and, like, any other, like, chaff. This is what deals with it. So, like, Ushabti just kill the big stuff. All the little, like, doesn't matter shots, like, incidental shooting kills off a couple outriders. Kills Chaos Knights. A 5-man model killed, like, 4 Chaos Knights the other day. Like, over a couple of turns, because they can. And then, I don't care if they die, they're 65 points. They've made their points in scoring 3 objectives, and they killed 5 of your knights. They're just overpowered. They're just really good. And they're there, and they can block cannons, you can push them back. But it's just that, I think it's, shooting is so great. And I say there's some deployments in there that would make my shooting day amazing. Where I've got a thing where I'm protected on that flank. You have to come in this very open gun line and just shoot down. Slowly and surely clear you off. Obviously big things are like bricks. How do I deal with them? A 9-man Ushabti brick doesn't just die, especially if it's got -1 hit. So like a Graveguard going into them, they're not going to insta-kill me. I can hold them up. I can then potentially get my other 5-mans in to try and help clear up. 2 Scorpions are there to help deal with some things. Like Beastmen bricks, like I'm able to clear off quite a few of them with my shooting because all their minuses don't matter. They've only got like basically no arm save. Yes, they have the chalice for a turn. It's only a turn. It gives them like a couple of turns of coming at you. They can move up twice, but it's just like, okay, cool. Obviously, I understand the shadows, but at that point, then they're within. I can move quite fast. I can shut down a column. So I think overall, for me, this is what I would take. Because in that pack, it deals with, it deals with Cafe Balloons, it can deal with Shuggies, it can deal with Mao Ying. It's just a number of shots. The Scroll of Withering does really well. So, like Sam's Double Dragon, if I got a Scroll of Withering on something, and it's cool, you don't get your art, your ward, and your regen. Cool, you got 4 up, 5 up, a 3 up save. Cool, you get 4 ups if I just roll a Force of Wounds. I might take off like 6 or 8 wounds in a turn. And it's like the incidental shooting at the point, like Skeleton Skirmisher that wounds you on a 6. Cool, you get 3 up. You might fail a wound. I've watched Chaos Knights die because of they can't roll a 3 up. So that's how I would play it. I would play it how I've always played. Very costly, very much shooting. Go wide with your Skeleton Skirmishers. Depending on what you're playing, you can go like really close with your Skeleton Shafty. You can play like the 9-5-5. So you go 9 there and then 5-5. If they've got loads of large targets, cool, just shoot them. But that's what I would take. It's reliable, it's hard to kill, it's hard to get points out of. Because a lot of people kill off like Scares and Scares, Horse Archers, maybe the double Tomb Scorpion. But if they leave the Ushabti, the Casket, and like the Wizards are quite hard to stop because you can make one fly, you can reserve move away. They've only killed like 500 points. These guys have all made their points from killing stuff and scoring objects. Like Scares and Horse Archers, so fucking annoying. Oh, runner, I've got a 30-point objective marker, but I'm high mine a hill, so you can't charge me. Oh, next turn you've moved up and you've actually got it cool. I then just move into a position where I take it. Oh, you, if you want to charge me, you've got to go off in this weird way because you've got to go to the nearest possible model. So you go all like that, and you go. There's some jank you can do with them. Potentially, if your versus like a drilled brick, you just can fan them to the side and be like, you can't charge me, you can't do anything. Yeah, it's good. I'm a big fan, obviously, of Ushabti. I've played them basically all year. And that's why we take. And those are my reasons. So that's my chat about the Masters, how I think it will go. I think it'll be a great tournament. As I say, I'm hoping lots of YouTubers do shorts, do build up to it. I know Pasha's already done it, talking about it. I know obviously Forgotten North, Scott and all them have done some things talking about the comp, etc. But there's a lot of potential, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to see the list. I want to see if my Ushabti would be able to deal with it. Obviously, I will look to do a YouTube video comparing my list to the lists that are there and trying to like see what I do. What would I rank myself? Like a 5, I think I would win. Like I'll give myself a scale. I'll do a matrix on them all, but I want to see how they go. But yeah, I'm obviously on Christmas break now, so I'm hoping to get a load of videos done before Christmas, edited and uploaded. I've got a new laptop, so everything just loads, which is fantastic. But yeah, I wish everyone a lovely time over Christmas. As I say, more videos will be coming out. I'm going to do a video on the new weapons, the new things, some different ways to kick out, some dragon, some new things. Talk about the rumours about how dragons can't take Armour of Ages potentially, and you go for, and then potentially my list coming up, and we'll just talk about just general stuff and what we're hoping for the year. But no, thank you very much. Obviously, the biggest way you can support is just like, watch, and comment, subscribe, and obviously I've got an affiliate link down below, so if you wish to support, just buy from Firestorm. I know I had 1 or 2 people ask about members. I'm not going to do members solely just because I don't do enough and I feel unjust. But if you want to support me, buy through that, or if you see me at a tournament, just say hi or send me a message. I find it really great. It's lovely to talk to the community. I'd say my favourite moment of Warhammer this year was when I was at WTC and just people talked to me. They asked me how I was doing. They were like, "Oh, you're the imperishable," and it was really nice. I say I also should be getting for Christmas a kind of an SD card converter. So I hopefully should get all the footage from WTC, and I'll just post a video of that. And I've got some battle reports coming up, so a lot to come. I'm excited. Thank you very much. Ta-ra.